The Canon 7D Mark I. Is this the best value video DSLR in 2019? Originally released in 2009, the flagship hybrid DSLR from Canon can now be found used from around £250 to £300, but is it still relevant for video a decade on? It features all the basics that any video shooter will need, from the 3-inch LCD display to the internal microphone and external microphone input to intuitive controls and menu options. It has an 18 megapixel APS-C sized CMOS sensor. This can shoot video at 1080p at up to 30 frames per second onto a single CF card. Also, it has the Canon EFS mount, which means it can use all of Canon's EFS and full-framed EF glass on it, so dozens of lens options available to you. But enough about the specs, let's jump straight in and look at the good bits of the Canon 7D Mark I 10 years on. First up is the value that this camera represents. For that £200 to £300 price point, it's hard to find any camera that's worth buying, let alone one that's of this quality and pedigree. You get a whole host of pro features, solid video quality and great photo quality to boot, all for that bargain basement price. Next up is the build quality, and is absolutely excellent. Testament to that is the fact that we're looking at one that's almost 10 years old here, and it looks and operates like new. It's absolutely fantastic. When again you consider the price point, you're going to be comparing this camera up against cameras such as the Canon 200D, which feels a lot less premium in hand. This is extremely weighty, it's very good quality, it's ergonomic, it just feels like a premium camera when it's in your hand. It's an intuitive and easy camera to use, and most importantly for new filmmakers, it's an easy camera to get great results out of without any heavy lifting. So when you consider the price point this is now pitched at, it absolutely represents a great choice for first-time filmmakers. There's nothing else out there in the sub £300 category that will give you such good results for both photo and video straight out the camera without any work really on the back end. But with that said, let's jump in and look at the bad bits of the Canon 7D Mark I. For me, the first and worst bit of this 10-year-old camera is the fact that there is no continuous autofocus when in video record mode. There is of course some great autofocus options on there, but once you're in video record mode and you hit record, it's pretty much locked off. You can of course use a manual focus, but the lack of continuous autofocus is going to be a huge problem for any single shooters, selfie style shooters or vloggers out there. Next up is the maximum record time, which is set at only 12 minutes on this DSLR. It's an unavoidable problem of cameras of this age, but is something you're absolutely going to have to be aware of. In truth, it's not an issue that would define this camera, but one that will limit its uses. There's also no flip out front facing touchscreen, which it's actually quite odd to see a Canon DSLR without it. It's definitely going to be a problem for anyone that shoots in a selfie style or vloggers that need a front-facing monitor. I guess in reality it's just a compromise you're going to have to make if you're looking at buying a 10-year-old DSLR. Beyond those bigger issues, there's obviously the smaller points to pay attention to, such as having the lower bitrate recording, only having standard frame rates to work with, and not having 4K, which may be a problem for some in 2019. But in truth, you can still get some very good, decent quality video results out of the Canon 7D Mark I. As I said previously, it's hard to find any camera, let alone one of this quality, for that sub £300 price point. So for any new filmmakers out there or video shooters on a budget that are looking to get great quality results straight out of the camera, then the Canon 7D Mark I is definitely a good choice for you. So for more information on the Canon 7D Mark I, there's some links below. And whilst you're down there, why not consider subscribing to our channel or even joining our Filmmakers Club on Patreon, our monthly club where you get access to our filmmaking assets to help you on your filmmaking journey. That's been my grab and go review of the Canon 7D Mark I. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.